Hello dear students and teachers, welcome back to my channel. From the examination point of view, it is a very important video because it contains maximum concept with maximum questions for your exam. So do watch the complete video as we have left with only 6 days for the preparatory exam, and also we have left with around 40 odd days for board exam 2022. As I have posted, target 60 plus marks in science. With continuation of that, if you learn all this question, definitely you can score good marks in your exam. Students, this is a lengthy video, but you need to watch the complete video, understand the questions, and try to make a note of all the questions so that it will be very helpful. So watching the complete video is very important. Don't skip any questions. Think that all the questions are easy, so that learn all the questions. All the questions, more than 100 questions have been covered in this video. Do watch the complete video. Make a note of, you need to write so that it becomes a practice. So make a note of all the questions and learn those questions. In case if I missed any concept, I'll be posting that in my later videos. This video contains maximum concepts for your annual exam 2022 and also for the board preparatory exam. Students, learn all these questions to score good marks. I've also posted the preparatory exam timetable, which will be starting in 6 days. So students, you need to learn at least 20 questions daily with other subjects so that you can score good marks in all the subjects. And also I have posted annual exam timetable. We have around 40 odd days. Students, don't forget to subscribe the channel. I'll be solving maximum preparatory papers. I'll be solving maximum preparatory papers and maximum concept for the exam. So I'll be posting all those in my channel. So don't forget to subscribe the channel and also join my Telegram group. I know it's a lengthy video, but still you need to learn all these questions. Just watch, learn it, then you can make a note of it. Now moving to first question, 1 mark question. I have typed in the form of, name the following. Liquid metal at room temperature is mercury. Liquid non-metal at room temperature is bromine. Soft metal that can be cut with a knife is what? Sodium. 2 metals which are poor conductors of heat, lead and mercury. The non-metal conducting electricity, graphite, which is a form of carbon. Metal with highest malleability is gold. Metal which used exclusively for making filament of electric bulb is tungsten. Metals which are kept under kerosene, sodium and potassium, very reactive metals. If it is exposed to air, it catches fire. Name the part of the brain that maintains posture and balance of the body. It is cerebellum. Next question, name the type of reaction where energy is absorbed. It is called as endothermic reaction. The reaction in which energy is released is exothermic reaction. Next, name the compound used for whitewashing. It is quicklime, CaO. Name the compound used in black and white photography. That is silver chloride, when it is exposed to sunlight, it changes its color to gray. Examples for olfactory indicators: vanilla essence, onion, and clove oil. Name some amphoteric oxides, that is, behaves both as acidic nature as well as basic nature, that is zinc oxide and aluminum oxide. Gas liberated when an acid reacts with a metal, hydrogen gas. The substance which turns blue litmus to red. Blue litmus to red, it is acid. Red litmus to blue, it is bases. Example for antacids: milk of magnesia, sodium hydrogen carbonate. Name the acid produced in our stomach. It is hydrochloric acid. Acid present in needle sting, that is formic acid. Tooth enamel is made up of calcium phosphate. Chemical composition of table salt which we use commonly in our daily life, that is sodium chloride. Chemical formula of bleaching powder: CaOCl2. Chemical name and formula of baking soda: sodium hydrogen carbonate NaHCO3. Chemical formula of bleaching powder: it is Na2CO3.10H2O. White colored powder is used by doctors for supporting fractured bone is plaster of Paris. When it is mixed with water, it forms a hard substance. What is what? Plaster of Paris. Sodium compound used for softening hard water, it is sodium carbonate. Medicine used for treating indigestion or acidity, it is antacids. Already we have seen example for antacids. The metal which displaces hydrogen gas from nitric acid, it is magnesium. Most ductile metal is gold. General formula of alkane is CnH2n plus 2. General formula of alkene, CnH2n. General formula of alkyne, CnH2n minus 2. First member of alkene series is ethene. First member of alkyne series is ethane, but the first member of alkane series is methane. Students, moving to next important question: what is solar cell? List out the application and limitations of solar cell. What is solar cell? Solar cell is a device that converts solar energy into electrical energy. What are the applications of solar cell? Solar cell are used in artificial satellites, traffic light controller. It is controller. Then it is also used in radio and wireless transmission, TV relay stations. What are the disadvantages or limitations of solar cell? Is that they are highly expensive and it is little bit less efficient. Students, make a note. Don't forget to subscribe the channel and also do share with your friends so that they can use maximum of this opportunity. It covers maximum concepts for your exams. If any question is left out, I'll be posting in my further videos. To subscribe the channel. Now moving to next question: define water of crystallization. Water of crystallization is the fixed number of water molecules present in one formula unit of salts. Students, this video covers important 3 mark, 4 mark questions for your exam and also with 1 mark, 2 mark question. Name the principle of an electric motor. The electric motor works on the principle of magnetic effects of electric current. Give reasons. Herbivores have longer intestine as compared to carnivores because Herbivores who eat grass need longer small intestine to allow the cellulose to be digested. Mucus is secreted along with hydrochloric acid in the stomach because mucus protects the stomach wall from the action of hydrochloric acid. Magnesium ribbons should be burned before Magnesium ribbons should be cleaned before burning in air because to remove unwanted impurities and to burn only pure magnesium metal. We apply paint on iron articles to prevent the rusting of iron. Students, aluminum is highly reactive metal. It is used to make utensils for cooking because aluminum forms a non-reactive layer of aluminum oxide on its surface. Hence, aluminum is used to make utensils. Refractive index of water is 1.33. What does it mean? Refractive index of water is 1.33. This means very simple, ratio of speed of light in air and the ratio of speed of light in water is equal to 1.33. Ratio of speed of light in air, ratio of speed of light in water is equal to 1.33. The ratio of speed of light in air to the ratio of speed of light in water is equal to 1.33. This is what the meaning of this statement. Name the factors that influence the refractive index. We know that N equals C by V. That is, refractive index depends on nature of the medium, density of the medium, and also on the color of the light, that is wavelength. Very important question, write the properties of magnetic field lines. So magnetic field lines originate from north pole of a magnet and end at its south pole. The magnetic field lines start from north pole to south pole outside the magnet. These lines are closed and continuous curves. These are very much crowded near the poles where the magnetic field is very strong and separated from the poles where the magnetic field is very weak. Two field lines or magnetic field lines will never intersect each other. Very important question for 2 marks. Why magnetic field lines never intersect each other? Because if they do so, that means that there are two directions of the magnetic field at the same point of intersection, which is impossible. Very important experiment and concept. State or explain Faraday's experiment of magnet and coil. State electromagnetic induction or define electromagnetic induction with the help of this experiment. Student, it contains a coil which is connected to galvanometer to measure the current and a magnet, bar magnet. A simple diagram, you can draw the diagram on your own. It should contain a coil, a current measuring device, galvanometer, and a magnet. The phenomenon of inducing an electric current in a coil by changing magnetic field around it is called as electromagnetic induction. Now take a coil of wire AB as shown in the figure having large number of turns and connect the ends of the coil to a galvanometer. Take a coil having large number of turns and connect the ends of the coil to a galvanometer. Take a strong bar magnet and move its north pole towards the end B of the coil. Take a bar magnet and push it inside the coil. Now when the magnet is pushed inside the coil, there is a deflection in the needle of the galvanometer. It indicates the presence of current in the coil. Now if we withdraw the north pole of the magnet away from the coil, now the galvanometer is deflected towards left. That means the current is now set up in the opposite direction to the first. When you push inside the magnet, when you push the magnet inside the coil, there is a deflection in the galvanometer. It indicates the presence of current, that is because of there is change in the magnetic field. Because of the change in the magnetic field, the current was induced in the coil. This phenomena is called as electromagnetic induction. When the coil is kept stationary inside the coil, what happens? The galvanometer will not show any deflection. It means the current will not be induced. Only if there is a change in the magnetic field, the current will be induced in the coil. Uses of concave mirror and convex mirror. Convex mirror are used as rear view mirrors in vehicles. These mirrors are fitted on the sides of the vehicle, enabling the driver to see traffic behind him or her to facilitate safe driving. So convex mirrors are used in vehicles. Convex mirrors are preferred because they always give an erect, diminished image and also wider field of view as they are curved outwards. It gives a wider view. Uses of concave mirrors. Concave mirrors are commonly used in torches, street lights, searchlight, vehicle headlights to get powerful beam of light. Concave mirrors are often used as shaving mirror to see a large image of the face. The dentist use concave mirrors to see larger image of the teeth of the patient. Concave mirrors are used to concentrate sunlight to produce heat in solar furnaces. Students, ionic compounds in solid state do not conduct electricity, but in molten state are good conductors of electricity. Why? Because in solid state, the ions will not be in mobile state, whereas in molten state, ionic compounds will be disassociated into its constituents ions, which is responsible for the conduction of electricity. Ionic compounds in solid state do not conduct electricity, but in molten state are good conductors of electricity because in molten state ions become mobile. That is, the compound will dissociate into its constituent ion, which is responsible for the conduction of electricity, whereas in the solid form ions are fixed in lattice. Thus the salt does not conduct electricity. If you understand the question, it will be very simple to answer. Next, what is synapse? The gap between two neurons is called as synapse. What is electric motor and electric generator difference? It converts electrical energy into mechanical energy. Electric generator is the device which converts mechanical energy into electrical energy. In case of electric motor, current is supplied to the coil, whereas in case of electric generator, current is induced in the coil. Next, it is based on the magnetic effect of electric current. It is based on electromagnetic induction. Electric motor follows Fleming's left hand rule. It follows Fleming's right hand rule. Very important question for 3 mark in your exam. Mendel's experiment to show that traits may be dominant or recessive. For this, you need to explain monohybrid cross of Mendel's experiment. When Mendel cross-pollinated pure tall pea plant with dwarf pea plant, he got tall plants in F1 generation. When he crossed what? Tall plant with dwarf pea plant, in first generation all the plants were tall. But when F1 tall plant, that is the tall plant we got in F1 generation, when it is self-pollinated, what we got is we got tall and dwarf plants in the ratio 3:1. So you can check here when it is self-pollinated, we got tall plants, 3 tall plants and 1 dwarf plants. This you can show with the help of the checkerboard. This shows that dwarf character was present in F1 generation, but it was not expressed, only the trait of tallness was expressed. So here in F1 generation, dwarf character or trait was present, but it was not expressed, only the tallness was expressed. So from this we can conclude that the traits may be dominant or recessive. The traits which express itself is called as dominant trait, and the trait which is unexpressed in the presence of contrasting form is called as recessive trait. Moving to next question, explain male reproductive system. Very important 4-mark question, or it will be asked for definitely 4-mark question will be asked based on this concept, or uses of the parts of male reproductive system will be asked. Male reproductive system consists of different parts. The main function of the male reproductive part is to produce the germ cells or the gametes or the male gametes, to deliver the male gametes to the site of fertilization. We have different parts. The first one is testes are paired oval shaped male sex organ. The main functions of testes is to produce the male sex gametes or the male gametes called as sperms, and produce male sex hormone testosterone. Next important part, scrotum. It is a small pouch which contains testes present outside the abdominal cavity. Sperms are formed here. This requires a lower temperature than the normal body temperature. Vas deferens, tube-like structure which connect testes to the urethra in order to allow the passage of semen. Urethra, common passage for both the sperms and the urine. Urethra is a common passage, so remove this knot here. Common passage for the sperms and the urine. It never carries both of them at the same time. Secretes seminal fluid and nutrients. Prostate gland and seminal vesicle. Fluid and nutrients combine with sperm to form semen for nourishing and stimulating sperms. Penis, external male genital organ, transfer sperms into the vagina of the female during copulation. Define magnification. Magnification produced by a spherical mirror gives the relative extent to which the image of an object is magnified with respect to the object. Magnification is nothing but how much the image is magnified with respect to the object size. It is expressed as the ratio of height of image to the height of the object, that is m equals h dash by h, and also it is related to object distance and image distance by magnification equals minus v by u. Minus indicates it is real image. Write the electron dot structure of sodium, oxygen, magnesium and chlorine. I have written the dot structure for atomic sodium, but you need to try for oxygen, magnesium and chlorine. The first step is write the atomic number of the given element and write the electronic configuration, you can see that in order to achieve the octet structure, the sodium, what it does, it will donate one electron. It will donate one electron to complete its octet structure. When one electron is donated, there will be excess proton. That's why we can indicate with plus sign, that is Na plus one electron will be donated to complete the octet structure. So we can represent it by like this, Na dot. Formation of following compounds by the transfer of electrons, very important concept for the exam, definitely a 3-mark question. Show the formation of following compounds by the transfer of electrons, that is sodium chloride. First you need to find out the valency of sodium and chlorine. Then you can see that Na, that is it has electronic configuration 281, it will donate one electron, whereas the electronic configuration of chlorine is 287. It will accept one electron to complete the octet structure. Therefore, the sodium will donate one electron to the chlorine, forming the compound sodium chloride. You can write for other compounds. State the limitations of Mendeleev's classification. Limitations from periodic classifications are very important. It will be asked for 3 mark or 2 mark with loss. State the limitations of Mendeleev's classification. The limitations of Mendeleev's classification of position of hydrogen was not justified. There was no fixed position for hydrogen. Increasing order of atomic mass could not be maintained. So increasing order of atomic mass could not be maintained. Isotopes have similar chemical properties but different atomic masses. They cannot be given separate places. Isotope posed a problem to the Mendeleev's classification. What are the limitations of Newland's law of octave? The law was applicable to elements up to calcium only. It was assumed by Newland that only 56 elements existed in nature, but no more elements would be discovered in future. But later several new elements were discovered whose property did not fit into the law of octaves. In order to fit elements into the table, Newland adjusted 2 elements in the same slot but also put dissimilar elements under same note. Resembles like cobalt and nickel in properties has been placed differently away from these elements. Difference between Mendeleev's periodic table and modern periodic table. Mendeleev's periodic table elements are arranged in increasing atomic mass, whereas modern periodic table elements are arranged in increasing atomic mass. There are 9 vertical columns in Mendeleev's periodic table called as group. There are 18 vertical columns called as group. State Joule's law of heating. Joule's law of heating states that the heat produced in a resistor is directly proportional to square of the current, directly proportional to resistance for which the given current, directly proportional to the time for which the current flows. Student, first you need to write the equation, then if you write the statement it will be easier for you. By looking at the equation you can write down the law. H equals I square RT. The heat produced, that is H, the heat produced in a conductor is directly proportional to what? Square of the current. Resistance for the given current and time for which the current flows. Next, state Newland's law of octaves. Newland arranged known elements in the order of increasing atomic mass, and it was found that every 8th element had properties similar to that of first. Fleming's left hand rule, Stretcher, thumb, forefinger and middle finger of left hand which are mutually perpendicular to each other. Forefinger indicates the direction of magnetic field, middle finger indicates the direction of current, thumb finger indicates the direction of motion of conductor. What are the properties of ionic compounds? The properties of ionic compounds are: the ionic compound consists of ions. Ionic compounds are solid in nature. Ionic compounds have high melting and boiling point. Ionic compounds are generally soluble in water. Ionic compounds conduct electricity in molten state. Uses of baking soda. Baking soda is used in soda acid fire extinguisher. Baking soda is used as an ingredient in antacid. Baking soda is used for making baking powder. Baking powder is a mixture of baking soda and tartaric acid. Uses of washing soda. Sodium carbonate or washing soda is used in glass, soap and paper industries. It is used in the manufacture of sodium compounds such as borax. It is used as cleaning agent for domestic purpose, and also it is used for removing permanent hardness of water. Name the product obtained during chlor-alkali process: chlorine gas, hydrogen gas and sodium hydroxide solution. It is chlorine gas formed at the anode, hydrogen gas at the cathode and sodium hydroxide in the solution. In the exam, they can ask the question: name the products obtained during chlor-alkali process and write the uses of it. You can find the uses of chlorine gas, hydrogen and sodium hydroxide in the textbook or in the textbook from the unit acid, bases and salt. What is catenation? Carbon has the unique property to form bond with other atoms of carbon, giving rise to large molecules. This property is known as catenation. Label diagram of electric motor. Apart from this, there are many diagrams in the textbook. You need to practice. From the examination point of view, you need to practice. 16 marks are allotted for the diagram, so do practice all the diagrams to score out of 40. State laws of refraction. First law says that the incident ray, the refracted and the normal to the interface of two transparent media at the point of incident all lie in the same plane. Second law, the ratio of sine of angle of incident to the sine of angle of refraction for a given light and a given color for a given pair of media is a constant. This law is also known as Snell's law of refraction, that is sin I by sin R equals n. Why sodium kept immersed in kerosene oil? Because already discussed, sodium is very reactive metal. If it is exposed here, it reacts vigorously and catches fire. Hence sodium kept immersed in kerosene oil. How does loading and short circuit occur in an electric circuit? Explain. What is the function of fuse during this situation? Overloading occurs when live wire comes in contact with the neutral wire. Overloading occurs when the insulation of wires is damaged or there is a fault in the appliance, or when electric appliances are connected to one circuit simultaneously. In this situation, the current in the circuit increases abruptly. This situation is called as short circuit. What is the function of fuse? Fuse is an electrical safety device that made up of alloy having what? High resistance and low melting point. When excess current flows during overloading and short circuit, the fuse wire melts and breaks the circuit, protects the devices from damage. Important diagram: electrolysis of water and human brain. Use of bleaching powder. The use of bleaching powder are used as a bleaching agent in the textile industry, used as an oxidizing agent in many chemical industry. Wire traits acquired during its lifetime if an individual is not inherited. Acquired traits are not inherited because they do not cause any change in the DNA of the organism. Hence, acquired trait during its lifetime of an individual is not inherited or will not be passed to the next generation. Power of a lens is +2 diopter. What do you mean by this statement? This means that lens prescribed is convex. Plus indicates the convex, minus indicates concave, and the focal length of the lens is what? Plus 0.5 meters. Here the focal length of the lens is 0.33 meters, that is P equals 1 by F. If by doing that you can calculate the focal length. There is a mistake here, it is 0.33 meters. Very important question. Explain the versatile nature of carbon. Versatile nature of carbon is due to two special properties, that is catenation and tetravalency. Already we have discussed. Carbon has unique ability to form bonds with other atoms of carbon, giving rise to large molecules. This property or unique property is called as catenation. The carbon compounds may have long chain of carbon, branched chain, or even arranged in rings. In addition, carbon may be linked by single, double, or triple bond. Compounds of carbon having single bond between carbon atoms are called as saturated. Compounds of carbon having double or triple bond between their carbon atom is called as unsaturated carbon compound. Student, difference between the saturated and unsaturated, important 2 mark question. I have listed it out, so do make a note of this question. Also write the difference between saturated and unsaturated carbon. Tetravalency, since carbon has a valency of 4, it is capable of bonding with 4 other atoms of carbon or atoms of some other monovalent element. It has valency of 4, that means it can share its 4 electrons with the other atoms, forming large number of molecules. Compounds of carbon are formed with oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, sulfur, chlorine and many other elements, giving rise to large number of compound with specific property which depend on the elements other than carbon present in the molecule. Question number 38. What is combination reaction? I have written the definition. You should write the example for combination reaction from the textbook. A reaction in which 2 or more reactants combine to form a single product is known as combination reaction. What is decomposition? A reaction in which single reactant breaks down to form 2 or more products is called as decomposition. What is displacement? More reactive element displaces less reactive element from its compound. The reaction in which 2 different ions or group of atoms in the reactant molecules are displaced by each other is called as double displacement. What is homologous series? Series of compound with same functional group. So it is a homologous series is a series of carbon compounds with same functional group but similar chemical properties and successive member differed by 1 carbon and 2 hydrogen atoms. That is, if we take alkane series, methane, ethane, propane, if you see the successive member differ by 1 carbon and 2 hydrogen atom. Homologous series, same functional group with similar chemical properties, successive member differ by CH2. What is redox reaction? A chemical reaction in which oxidation and reduction takes place simultaneously are called as redox reaction. What is reduction? Loss of oxygen. Oxidation is addition of oxygen. What is rancidity? Mention the ways by which rancidity can be prevented. When the substance containing oils and fats are exposed to air, they get oxidized and become rancid, due to which they smell, taste and color change. This process is known as rancidity. It can be prevented by adding antioxidants, flushing with nitrogen gas. Water amphoteric oxide, metal oxide, which show acidic as well as basic behavior, that is, they both react with acid as well as bases to produce salt and water. Example, aluminium oxide, zinc oxide. What is acid rain? When the pH of rainwater is less than 5.6, it is called as acid rain. Name the factors on which the resistance of a conductor depends on. The resistance of a conductor depends on its length, area of cross section, nature of its material and also on its temperature. State Ohm's law. Ohm's law states that the potential difference V across the ends of a given metallic wire in an electric circuit is directly proportional to the current flowing through it, provided its temperature remains the same. Mathematically, V is proportional to I. V equals I into R. V is what? Potential difference. I is the current. R is the resistance. Now moving to next question, write the functions of the following hormone. Thyroxine regulates carbohydrate, protein and fat metabolism in the body so as to provide the best balance for growth, and insulin helps in regulating blood sugar level. Students, the function of all the plant hormones and that is animal hormone, that is human hormone, are very important for the exam. So I have listed out. I'll be posting it my next video. What is the function of placenta during pregnancy? The embryo gets nutrition from the mother's blood with the help of placenta. The waste substance generated by the embryo is removed through placenta. Very important diagram. Human heart for 4 marks. Write the difference between homologous and analogous. There is a mistake in the example, as I already told you. Homologous, they have same origin. Analogous, they differ in origin. Structure is similar, structure is different. Perform different function, perform same function. Analogous, wings of insects, birds and bats. Analogous, 4 limbs of frog, man and flippers of the whale. Homologous, they have same origin, structure is similar, perform different function. Example is 4 limbs of frog, man and flippers of a bat. Name the gas liberated when acid reacts with a metal. It is hydrogen gas. What is neutralization reaction? The reaction between an acid and a base to give salt and water is called as neutralization reaction. Acid reacting with the base to form salt and water, that is HCl plus NOH, gives what? NaCl plus H2. Water fossils. How is the age of fossil determined? Fossils are the preserved traces of living organisms present in earth crust are called as fossils. How to determine age of fossils? One is relative method, that is the fossils we find closer to the surface are more recent than we find in the deeper layer of the earth crust. Second way of dating fossil fuels by detecting the ratio of different isotopes of same element present in the fossil material. State Mendeleev's periodic law. Modern periodic law. Mendeleev's periodic law states that the properties of elements are periodic functions of their atomic mass. Modern periodic law states that the properties of elements are periodic functions of their atomic number. Define refractive index of the medium. The refractive index of a transparent medium is defined as the ratio of speed of light in vacuum to the speed of light in medium. N equals C by V. What is N here? N is the refractive index, C is the speed of light in vacuum or air, V is the speed of light in medium. Name the filtration unit of kidney. It is nephron. Power of lens is defined as the reciprocal of its focal length. P equals what? 1 by F. SI unit of power of lens is diopter. Moving to next question. Define speciation. List the factors that help in speciation. Speciation is the formation of new species from pre-existing population. What is it is a formation of new species from pre-existing species. Factors that help in speciation are natural selection, geographic isolation, genetic drift, change in DNA or number of chromosomes. Diagram. Reaction of zinc granules with dilute sulfuric acid. Very important 3-mark question. State the laws of reflection. The angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. The incident ray, the normal to the mirror at the point of incident, and the reflected ray all lie in the same plane. The incident ray, the reflected ray and the normal all lie in the same plane. List the characteristics of good sources of energy. The characteristics of good fuel or good source of energy are: large amount of work should be done per unit volume or mass, it should be easily available, easy to transport, it should cause less pollution and smoke free, it should be cheap and economical. What are the disadvantages of fossil fuel? Burning of coal or petroleum products causes air pollution. The oxides of carbon, nitrogen and sulfur are released on burning fossil fuels, form acidic oxide. It leads to acidic rain and affect water and soil. Define the following terms. Malleability. Metals can be beaten into thin sheets. This property is called as malleability. Ductility. The ability of metals to be drawn into thin wires is called as ductility. Sonorous. The metals that produce a sound on striking a hard surface are known as sonorous. What are decomposers? Write it role. Decomposers are organisms that feed on dead plants and animals are called as decomposers. What is the function of it? They break down the complex organic compound present in dead remains into simpler substance and obtain nutrition from them, and these substances are released into soil and atmosphere. They recycle. The main function of decomposers is they recycle the dead and remain. They help in recycling of materials, replenishment of soil nutrients. They clean our surroundings by decomposing dead organism waste. Very important question. Next question. In the following food chain, you can see that grass, grasshopper, frog and snake. Grass provides 4000 joules of energy. It is at the first level. How much energy will be available to the snake and frog? Student, at each tropic level, only 10% energy is transferred from one level to another. That is grass 4000 joules. Next level only 10% will be transferred. That is 10% of 4000 is 400. For the next level frog it will be 40 joules. For the next level it is 4 joules. Only the 10% of the energy will be transferred from one tropic level to another tropic level. Therefore, energy available at frog is 40 joules. Energy available at snake is 4 joules. It follows 10% law. That is, the energy flow from one tropic level to another tropic level is only 10%. What is ozone? Ozone is a molecule formed by 3 atoms of oxygen, that is O3, which protects the earth from human harmful ultraviolet radiations. Fleming's right hand rule. Fleming's right hand rule states that stretch the thumb, forefinger and middle finger of right hand so that they are mutually perpendicular to each other. Forefinger indicates the direction of magnetic field, middle finger indicates the direction of induced current, thumb indicates the direction of motion of conductor. What are the different methods of contraception? Barrier method, condom, copper T diaphragm, hormonal methods such as oral contraceptive pills, chemical methods like spermicide, surgical method like vasectomy and tubectomy. What could be a reason for adopting contraceptive method? To avoid frequent pregnancies, which in turn helps population control, and to prevent the spread of sexually transmitted diseases. What are functional group? List the functional group of carbon. If an atom or group of atom which confers a specific property for the compound is known as functional group. It is the atom or group of atom which gives special properties for the compounds is known as functional group. We have alcohol group OH, aldehyde CHO, ketone CO, carboxylic acid COOH. You can make a note of all this functional group. State Daubergne's law of triads. Daubergne identified the group of 3 elements. What Daubergne did, he identified group of 3 elements with similar properties called as triads. The elements in triads were arranged in the increasing order of atomic masses. The elements present in triads were arranged in the increasing atomic mass. He observed that the atomic mass of middle element was the average of the remaining other two elements. Limitations of Dobrigne's law of triads is very important. Write the structure of following carbon compounds: methane, ethane, propane, butane. Try to write the structure of this. In my next video, I'll explain you how to write the structure of the carbon compounds, and also writing the dot structure and numericals on electricity and the light chapter. Everything will be covered. Explain the dot structure of methane. Molecular formula of methane is CH4. Valency of carbon is 4. Valency of hydrogen is 1. It shares the 4 valence electron. The 4 valence electron of carbon is shared with 1 hydrogen. Each valence electron of carbon is shared with each hydrogen atom. That is, carbon is tetravalent because it has 4 valence electron and hydrogen has 1 valence electron. In order to achieve the octet structure or noble gas configuration, carbon shares valence electrons with 4 atoms of monovalent, that is, element hydrogen. What happens when fertilization does not occur in female body? It is BODY. In female, ovaries release ovum or eggs every 28 days. For every 28 days, ovaries release what? They release eggs from the age of puberty. The uterus prepares itself every month to receive a fertilized egg. Its lining becomes thick and spongy. If the egg is not fertilized, it leaves for about a day. If it is not fertilized, it leaves for about a day. Afterwards, this lining of the uterus is no longer required and menstruation occurs. Menstruation is the phase of uterine bleeding in which an unfertilized egg and thick uterine lining, it occurs to vagina as blood and with blood and mucus. Menstruation lasts for 3 to 5 days. What is menstruation? How it occurs, or what happens when the fertilization does not occur in female body? These are same question. Explain female reproductive system. The female germ cell or eggs are made in ovaries and responsible for the production of hormones. Ovaries, paired and oval-shaped organ located in the abdominal cavity near the kidney. They produce thousands of egg cells or the eggs or ovum. Ovaries secrete female sex hormone like estrogen and progesterone. Oviduct, it has a funnel-shaped opening near the ovary, carries ova or the egg from ovary to the uterus. It is the site of fertilization. This open into the uterus from the both the side. Uterus, hollow pear-shaped bag-like structure. Here the growth and development of fetus takes place. What is cervix? It is a lower and narrow portion of the uterus which opens into vagina. Vagina, it receives the sperms from the male sex partner and serves as a birth canal. Important words related to electricity. What is electric circuit? A continuous and closed path of an electricity is known as electric circuit. 1 ampere is defined as flow of 1 coulomb of charge per second. Ammeter, what is ammeter? It is the device or the instrument used to measure electric current. What is potential difference? Electric potential difference between the 2 points in an electric circuit carrying some current is the work done to move a unit charge from one point to another. 1 volt. Potential difference between the 2 points in a current carrying conductor is 1 joule of work done to move 1 coulomb of charge from one point to another. Voltmeter, an instrument used to measure electric potential difference in a circuit. It is always connected in parallel, whereas ammeter is always connected in series. Resistance is the property of a conductor to resist the flow of charges through it. What is resistance? It is the property to resist the flow of current. What is resistivity? Resistivity is defined as the electrical resistance of a conductor per unit cross-sectional area and unit length. Electric power, gives the rate at which energy is dissipated or consumed in an electric circuit. 1 watt, it is the power consumed by a device that carries 1 ampere of current when operated at a potential difference of 1 volt. 1 watt hour power consumed and 1 watt of power is used for 1 hour. Student, don't forget to subscribe the channel. I'll be posting the preparatory papers so that before the exams you are exposed to maximum concepts and revision. Right, the SI unit of electric charge is coulomb, SI unit of electric current is ampere, SI unit of potential difference is volt, SI unit of resistance is ohm, SI unit of resistivity is ohm meter, SI unit of electrical power is watt. What are isomers? Compounds having same molecular formula but different structural arrangement are called as isomers. Here you can see the isomers of butane, that is normal butane and isobutane. They have both same molecular formula, that is C4H10, but they have different structure. You can write for pentane, hexane. What is reflex action and reflex action? Reflex action is an automatic and sudden or immediate response to the external stimulus by the spinal cord independent of brain is called as reflex action. The pathway involved in the reflex action is called as reflexer. How is the sex of the child determined in human being? In human being, sex is determined by XX and XY chromosome which are present in female and male. Female contain XX chromosome and male contain XY chromosome. If the X chromosome of father fuses with X chromosome of mother, then the child will be female. When the male gamete Y fuses with the female X chromosome, then it will be male child. XX female, XY male. Father contains XY, mother contains XX. If X of father fuses with X of mother, it is female. If Y of father fuses with X of mother, it is male. Define or name the methods of waste disposal. There are various methods of waste disposal, that is recycling, composting, incineration, landfill, sewage treatment and biogas production. Different ways in which glucose is oxidized to produce energy in various organisms. The first step is breakdown of glucose into pyruvate, that is 6 carbon molecule into 3 carbon molecule, which takes place in cytoplasm. Further, breakdown of pyruvate takes place in different manners, that is in the absence of oxygen, lack of oxygen, in the presence of oxygen. In the absence of oxygen, that is in case of is ethanol, carbon monoxide and energy is released. In case of lack of oxygen, in the muscle cells, lactic acid and energy is released. In the presence of oxygen, that is in the mitochondria, carbon dioxide, water and energy is released. So you need to draw this diagram with explanation. If you draw this diagram, you can easily explain on in your own words. Why is the use of iodized salt is advised? Iodized salt is advised because it contains iodine, which is essential for the synthesis of thyroxine hormone by thyroid gland. If it is iodine is deficient in our diet, there is a possibility of suffering from simple goiter, that is swelling of neck. What is the dual purpose served by urethra in males? The urethra of male function both for the passage of sperms and urine. Define atomic size. Atomic size increases down the group. Explain. Atomic size decreases down across the period. Explain. What is atomic size? It is the radius of an atom. Otherwise, we can say that it is the distance between the center of the nucleus and the outermost shell of an isolated atom. Atomic size increases down the group because new shell are being added. As we go down the group, new shell will be added, so it increases the distance between the center of the nucleus and the outermost shell. Hence atomic size decreases down the group. If atomic sizes increases, so it is easy to remove the electrons from the valence shell. Atomic size decreases in moving from left to right along a period. This is due to increase in nuclear charge, which tends to pull the electron closer to the nucleus. There will be no new shells will be added. There is a increase in the nuclear charge. Because of that, there is a decrease in the atomic size. Explain metallic and non-metallic properties. All these are very important questions. Metallic properties: elements having the tendency to lose. If elements have the tendency to lose one or more electrons and form positive ions are called as metals. They are present on the left side as well as in the center of periodic table. The tendency of these elements to lose electrons is their metallic character. Metals, they lose electrons. Variation along a period. How it varies along a period and down the group. As the effective nuclear charge acting on the valence shell increases across the period, the tendency to lose electrons will decrease. As we move along a period, the tendency to lose electron decreases, hence their metallic nature will decrease. But down the group, effective nuclear charge experienced by the valence shell decreases because of the outermost shell are farther away from the nucleus. Hence electrons can be lost easily. Hence metallic character increases down the group and decreases across a period. Non-metallic properties. Non-metals are the elements which have the tendency to gain one or more electron from negative ions. They are present in the right side of the periodic table. Variation along a period and the group. Non-metallic character increases across the period and decreases down the group. Very important question for 3 marks. Variation gives an advantage to an individual organism, not only to survive, it gives an advantage. Reproductive process, especially sexual reproduction, give rise to new individuals that are similar but subtly different. Thus, different variations emerge in a species. During sexual reproduction, there is a variations occur. These variations, which are suitable for adjusting to the environment. Thus, it increases the chances of survival, whereas other species may vanish. Example, environment also goes on changing. Now individuals which are suitable to the changed environment will survive. Survival of the fittest. Thus the continuity of the species will be maintained. If the variation, if the adaptation is there because of the variation, that means the species will survive, otherwise the species may vanish. Why are some patients of diabetes treated by giving injection of insulin? Insulin is the hormone produced by pancreas, helps in regulating blood sugar level. If sugar level increases in our blood due to lack of insulin, it leads to many harmful effects. Hence, diabetes patients are given injections of insulin to fulfill the requirement of insulin in their body. Name some sexually transmitted diseases. How to avoid it? Sexually transmitted diseases are gonorrhea, syphilis, AIDS, warts. How we can avoid it? Avoid multiple sexual contacts using barrier methods such as condom. Explain double circulation. During double circulation in human beings, blood passes through the heart twice, hence it is called as double circulation. It involves two types of circulation, that is pulmonary circulation, systematic circulation. In pulmonary circulation, the deoxygenated blood is pushed by right ventricle to the lungs for oxygenation to pulmonary artery. This oxygenated blood is then brought back to the left atrium of the heart to pulmonary veins. In systematic circulation, oxygenated blood brought to the left atrium goes to the left ventricle. It is then passed on to the different parts of the body to aorta. See here, this both circulation takes place at a time, hence it is called as double circulation. Such separation allows highly efficient supply of oxygen to the body. This is useful in animals that have high energy needs, such as birds and mammals, which constantly use energy to maintain their body temperature. students, I'm making little bit pronunciation mistakes because I'm continuously reading this many number of questions, so do forgive me. How are fats digested in our body? Where does this process takes place? Digestion of fat takes place in the small intestine. Fat reaches the small intestine in the form of large globules. The liver releases bile juice which emulsifies the fat, that is, it breaks down the large globules of fat into small globules. Lipase acts and breaks the globules into molecules. The small intestine then releases juices that convert the fat molecules into fatty acid and glycerol, which can be used by the body. List the different strategies plants use for excretion. They get rid of excess water and oxygen to stomata. Many plant waste products are stored in cellular vacuoles. Waste products may be stored in leaves that fall off. Waste products are stored as resins and gums, especially in old xylem. Name the plant hormone responsible for phototropism. Explain its effect. Auxin is the plant hormone responsible for phototropism. Auxin is the plant growth hormone which is synthesized at the shoot tip. It promotes the cell elongation, root formation, and also leads to apical dominance and phototropism. Give reason. Series arrangement are not used for domestic circuits because the same current will flow through in series arrangement, which is not desired. Total resistance become larger, hence current gets reduced. We cannot use individual switch, that is on off switches, hence series arrangement is not used for domestic circuit. Platinum, gold and silver are used to make jewelry because of their lustrous property. Ventricles have thicker muscular walls than atria because they have to pump out the blood out of the heart to various organs of the body. Transpiration is used very useful to plants because transpiration and absorption helps in absorption and upward movement of water and dissolved minerals from the roots to the leaves. It regulates the temperature of leaves. It is not temporary, it is temperature. Veins have thin valves as compared to atria. Veins collect the blood from different organs and bring back to the heart. The blood in the veins is under low pressure, hence they have thin wall. Blood circulation in human heart called as double circulation. The main difference is that the blood flows twice, one for oxygenated blood and another for deoxygenated blood. Hence it is called as double circulation. Majority of mammals, including humans, utilize double circulation. Herbivores have longer small intestine as compared to carnivores because it needs cellulose to be digested. These questions we have already discussed. Tungsten is widely used for filaments in the filaments of electric bulb. Tungsten has high resistance and high melting point. When current is passed through them, it becomes hot and emits light. Coils of electric heating device are made of alloy rather than pure metal because the resistivity of alloys is greater than its constituent metals, hence they do not burn or oxidize at high temperature. What is lymph? Lymph is a colorless fluid with less protein than plasma, containing white blood cells. What are the function of lymph? Carry digested fat or absorption of fat, drains excess fluid from extracellular space back into the blood. Define electronegativity and positivity. The electronegativity of an element is the tendency of an element to attract in its combined state. What is electronegativity? The electronegativity of an element is the tendency of an atom to lose electron. There is some mistake in the sentence. It is a tendency of an atom to lose the electron in its combined state. What is electropositivity? Electropositivity of an element is a tendency to an atom to donate electrons and also withdraw. Electronegativity, share electrons. Electropositivity, donate electrons. What is electronegativity? Electronegativity of an element is the tendency of an atom to attract electrons, that is, to gain electrons. Electropositivity is to donate electrons. Understand the main difference. Electronegativity, gain electrons. Electropositivity, donate electrons. Explain the process of nutrition in amoeba. Amoeba takes in food using temporary finger-like projections of the cell surface which fuse over the food particle, forming a food vacuole. Inside the food vacuole, complex substances are broken down into simpler ones which diffuse into the cytoplasm. After the digestion, the remaining undigested material is moved to the surface of the cell and thrown out of the body. Why curd and sour substances are not kept in brass and copper vessels? Because curd and sour substances are acidic, reacts with the vessels, that is brass and copper vessels. Hence, they are not kept in copper and brass vessels. Why does an aqueous solution of acid conduct electricity? Because acid gives ions in aqueous solution, and in solution current is carried to ions. Thus, aqueous solution of acid conduct electricity. Why does dry HCl gas not change the color of dry litmus paper? Because dry HCl gas do not generate H plus ions, hence do not change the color of dry litmus paper. Important terms related to the unit: reflection, light reflection, refraction, pole, center of curvature, radius of curvature. This will be asked for 1 or 2 marks definition. And important terms related to lens, concave lens. Students, it is convex lens, not it is concave, it is convex lens. Students, question number 98, dihybrid cross experiment of Mendel. Very important 4-mark question for your exam. This the ratio of dihybrid cross is 9:3:3:1, which is very important for the exam. This question I'll explain in detail in my next video. For time being, you can make a note of this. Reaction between plaster of Paris with water, CaSO4 dot half H2 plus 1.5 H2 gives to CaSO4 dot 2 H2. Next question, 100 question. A potted plant, where a potted plant falls horizontally on soil, how does it grow? Explain with a reason. The shoot tip will go towards the sun against the gravity due to negative geotrophism and positive geotrophism, while the roots will go towards the ground due to positive geotrophism. Hence the plant will bend at 2 places. Difference between questions. Students, if you can't able to see it, there is a video I have posted in my channel, that is important difference between questions from all the chapters. Very important question. If you learn all those difference between question, definitely you can score around 6 to 8 marks. So make a note of all those questions. Difference between pollination and fertilization, difference between metals and non-metals in their physical and chemical properties. Very important, renewable and non-renewable, and saturated, unsaturated, homologous, analogous, endothermic, exothermic, oxidation and reduction, displacement and double displacement, acids and bases. Students, and also you need to practice the numericals from electricity, light, reflection, refraction, ray diagrams, and all the diagrams from all the important diagrams from the each unit. Students, a few questions, any of the questions if it is missed, I'll check it out again. I'll post in my video in my channel. Do subscribe the channel, and also I'll be posting the numericals based on the electricity, light, reflection, refraction, and also how to write the structure of the carbon compounds, dot structure. Very importantly, the difference between questions and all, very important. You need to make a note of all these questions and you need to study well for the exam. The main intention is to cover the maximum concept and questions before the exam, so that you will be able to attempt all the questions and score good marks in the exam. Dear student, thank you for watching the video.